Memphis is the home of the blues, rock and roll, and Earl Farrell.
From the Collierville Square to the mighty Mississippi, the Earl Farrell for Memphis show is all about good things that happen across the Bluff City and the people who make Memphis cool.
The Earl Farrell for Memphis show is made possible by our title sponsor, Southern Security Federal Credit Union, and by Kathy Thurman Edwards, State Farm Insurance.
Plus, Diane Kimbro, Lady Di, your insurance PI. Also by Dive Shop and Dive Ventures nationwide. Jim Keras Chevrolet with George Gully. Napa Cafe Memphis and Glenda Hastings. Phoenix Unequaled Home Entertainment. For Memphis Magazine. The Live at the Garden Concert Series. And the Orpheum Theater Group Memphis. Thank you to all the sponsors for making this possible.
And now, coming to you from Lansky Brothers, Clothier to the King, inside the world-famous Peabody Hotel, with the heart of a cowboy and Memphis in his soul. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Earl Farrell.
And thank you very much, and welcome into Lansky's Clothier to the King. And our first guest is in place and ready to go. Dawn Graeter, who is the CEO of Southern Security Federal Credit Union, but she does so many other things in the community, and that's why she's here today to talk about Liza's Light. And welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me, and excited to talk about this great venture that we started about a year ago.
Did you think when you first embarked on this that it would have the reaction that it's had?
I think in some ways, yes. We knew it would be a very impactful story. I think it was something that impacted the entire city of Memphis as well as the region, and also gained national attention. So I felt confident that it was something that everybody was familiar with and had really hoped that it would bring a way for healing from something that was so tragic.
Just to kind of paraphrase how this all came about, Liza was a young mother, school teacher, wife, lived in the Midtown area, but got up every morning to take a jog and show a route that she went by the University of Memphis. And she was abducted, and eventually she was found dead. Mm-hmm. And the community was just heartbroken over it, because the more they learned about who she was, the more heartbreaking the story was. But she was a star athlete at the University of Memphis on the women's soccer team. And so everybody, and I guess that was part of what your planning was. What can we do to honor her?
Right. It kind of started with some conversations about how do you bring light to darkness in our community? And during this time period, we had several things that had happened that seemed very dark. The family all along through this whole journey was wanting a way to bring light and make something that was very tragic. They really wanted something good to come from it. And this was kind of a way we felt like would be a win-win for the university, for the city, a way to honor her and really showcase, the great Memphian, the great advocate for our city, and her great love for the city. And, really just a way to let everybody in this community be a part of something that would be very, very positive and would be a light going forward for generations to come.
I think everybody was really shocked when they heard the conditions that the girls and women's soccer team was operating under. And they said, my gosh, yes, they need a facility. Yes, it needs improvements. And we've got some shots of the renderings of what it will be like once the construction ends. They didn't have a place to even kind of have a meeting.
Right. They have a modular building. I know, remember when schools got overcrowded back in the day, they would bring in what I called trailers, but they're modular buildings. Yeah. There is one at the university where they have their meetings. It's been there for 15 years.
Wow.
It was supposed to be temporary. Still there, kind of leaks. Unless you go over there, you really don't have a full appreciation for what it looks like and the conditions of the facility. So women's soccer, men's soccer, track and field will all benefit from this. And it will be named after Liza. It's the Liza Wilford Fletcher Stadium. And the family actually made the first initial gift and really wanted to kickstart the campaign to make sure that everybody knew and understood that the family was invested and that they wanted to be a part of it, and that they really wanted to make this happen.
The fundraising, you did a lot of ways. They had the race, Liza's race, which also commemorates the tragic event, but it was a huge kickstart to the fundraising effort.
Sure, it's in September every year, obviously on the anniversary of her abduction. The Liza's Light committee this year, I think, is going to partner with the lady who championed that race the very first year. She is, seeking some help, and so hopefully it's a project that Liza's Light Committee can also take on to kind of continue that race. It's very important. There are thousands of women that participate in that race, and I will say it doesn't just happen in Memphis. I mentioned earlier that this is kind of a national thing, and last year I was actually in Alabama, and Birmingham had a race that very same day. And I know they were throughout the country. I know there was one in California and other places. So it's something that brings national attention to actually what happened, but also gives us the opportunity to talk about, something good that all of these people are really wanting and supporting to come from this. So we will continue to be a part of that. It's in September. And the campaign kicked off 2 weeks prior to that in August. So we're rolling up on a year. And I'm happy to say we started the campaign with a goal of $7 million. And we're in excess of $8 million at this point. So we are so excited that we've been able to do that. And obviously that piece was going to do the women's locker rooms, the meeting facility, the press room, and that type of thing. So the men's locker room was going to be phase 2. During this process, as you all know, we got a new athletic director at the university, Dr. Ed Scott, and he would like to go ahead and complete the project and build it out for the men and the women when we do it. So that kind of raised the bar a little bit. So it's closer to a $10 million project. So we still need everybody's contributions and help to complete it. But I'm happy to say that the project will begin. We're expecting a groundbreaking ceremony September, October of this year. So it will be about 1 year out from when we started this. And to have raised that much money for something like this in that short of a period of time, to me, speaks volumes, number one, to the people that are involved, and number two, to the meaning of this project to everyone in the city. We've had people from every age group, every walk of life contribute to this, and we want them to continue to do that. And I think everyone will celebrate when this thing is completed and be very proud of what's been done.
I don't think you can see the code on this card, but you can go to, is there a web page they can go to?
It's lizaslight.org.
Okay.
I don't know, can we get this?
Yeah, just hold it that way.
That way. There we go.
There you go.
All right, so it's lizaslight.org. There is a QR code that you can scan with your phone. If you scan the code with your phone, you can donate, and there are amounts that you can donate, or you can write in your own amount, whatever you'd like. These are throughout the city still. You'll see some yard signs that are still up talking about the campaign, and we want to continue to raise funds. Obviously, there will be ongoing needs for the operation of the facility once it's built. So this is something that will be ongoing. The hope is that by the time this year's season starts for the women, the spring season is over. They are on break right now, but they will be back in July. When their season begins for next year, we hope that the bleachers will be completely demolished. And there were people that were concerned, well, are people going to be upset about having to bring a chair? And I said, no, we're going to celebrate having to bring chairs. I said, we'll go get some chairs. We're excited. I think once people see that there's progress, that something's being done, that they will be thrilled. And bringing a chair to watch these girls play soccer, to me, is a small sacrifice for something that's going to end up being fantastic.
Well, speaking of good, they are good. They've been good for many years.
They are.
Which was the irony of the whole thing. Here that they're champions, winners, and yet they had nothing.
That's right. And, I attribute this to Brooks Monaghan. He's the head coach, and he's been the head coach there for over 20 years. And Brooks, I told him, I said, you're a guy that can bring a group of women together and motivate them and instill in them that they can be champions. And it's not about the luxury of your locker room. It's not about the facility. It's believing in yourself. Yeah. The mentality of being a champion comes from within. And if you really want to be a champion, you really want to be good, you really want to be successful, that comes from within you. It's not about all the exterior things. Obviously, they deserve to have a nice locker room. We want them to have a nice meeting facility. We want them to have a place where they can lounge and have snacks and things like that. But that's not what makes them champions. And this team, this year, as well as all the teams over the last 10, 15 years, have proven that that is the case. They have more championships than any other athletic program at the university.
Yeah,
and it's amazing. If you come to a game, you can see the championship banners, and they literally wrap around the entire field. So, congratulations to all the women who came before. And we really hope that we can bring all of them back and let them see the fruits of their contributions, because they all contributed to this. If the team wasn't successful, it would be a harder conversation. And so the university is going to benefit from something that this community is pulling together for their benefit, and the men are going to benefit from it as well. Track and field also, the Gregory family gave $1 million donation to resurface the track, which surrounds the soccer field, so it was going to have to be taken up. So there will be a new track, so we'll have some great track and field facilities, and we're hoping the Eddie Murphy Classic that's every year, which is the big track and field event that happens here in the city, we're hoping to move that back to the facility as well, so that we can showcase the track program on a national level as well. So lots of opportunities, lots of things in the works, and we want everybody in the community to be a part of it. $10, $25, whatever you can do. We want you to be a part of this project because it's really about our community and bringing it together.
And go see the soccer, the track and field events, because I did track and nobody came to the track.
That's right. They're really long. My daughter did track too. So I said the parent of a track athlete is very resilient because those track meets are really long.
Yeah, well, I used to run cross country. I'd drive by, I'd see my father standing outside his car as he passed by, and then he'd wave and get his car and drive away.
That's right. That's right. He's like, yeah, but. The women's soccer program was great. The men's soccer program did really, really well last year as well. So if you're in the area, come support these athletes. They're incredible people. They really work really hard. The women who are on the soccer team this year were there during the summer and got to really hear the story and learn what was going on. And they are so excited and so appreciative. And a lot of them are new to the city. So any support that we can show them just by showing up is really meaningful. And bring your chair. So, because I'm hopeful there won't be any bleachers there when the season starts. So,
well, thank you to you, Dawn, and Southern Security for getting behind projects like this. As I said at the beginning, this is not the only project you're involved with. Women of Power that you were involved with, and another huge fundraising event that you did. So thank you for your community involvement and Southern Security, because they're involved in so many different projects.
Well, we're glad to do it. We want to be a community partner. It's a great community, and I think I tell everybody all the time, we want the good stories to get out, which is why we're a part of this show. So thank you, for changing the format of this and helping us tell about the good of this community. There's a lot of really good people in this community, a lot of really good, organizations, and a lot of good things that are going on, and we want people to know about that.
Well, that's what we're here for, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
Thank you.
And we're going to go on a little trip. Have a great time on your trip, and we'll see you when you get back. Take a lot of pictures, and we'll share them.
I will. I'll send you lots of good stuff. We'll have lots to talk about when I get back.
Absolutely. Don Graeter, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Coming up next is somebody who hasn't been here since we changed our venue from radio to coming to you live and a live video podcast from Lansky's. And every week I'd call her and say, "You ready to show up?" And then she would say, "Well, not this week." And I go, "Well, how about next week? And can I get back to you?" And because she has a lot going on. Unfortunately, a lot of it has to do with her business, which she goes by Lady Di, your healthcare PI, and actually insurance of all kinds. She is licensed from California to New York to Miami Beach to Dallas, Texas. Diane Kimbro, Lady Di, welcome to the show.
So good to finally be back. I've missed you.
I missed you. I mean, we used to do this on a regular basis, and I kept talking to you on the phone, and I'd see things you put up on Facebook, but so this is the first time I got to see you in person again. Don't you like our new digs?
I love our new digs. I love our location. Now you're going to make me have to shop. And here we have Father's Day, which means I'm going to have to do some special shopping, right?
Well, there it is. You got the whole room here, and try it on and take care of Bill. So
yeah, I'm excited.
You have been busy. This is... I know I get calls, and a couple of things I want to talk about first is there are all these things you see on Facebook, and you get calls about don't bypass this $1,200 free thing for you if you're a senior over 68 or whatever it is. And most of these, I'm not saying they all are, but most of them are just a way of getting you to answer or ask for more information, and then you get bombarded.
Have you ever heard of bait and switch?
Yeah.
Might be one of those things.
Might be.
So what I try to warn people about, and I can really speak to experience now because I'm 65. Woohoo!
Don't look it.
Yay! And now I'm part of that whole crew, right? Where, but you know what's funny is I don't get the phone calls that my husband gets, and he's not even 65 yet. But what they're doing is they're trying to entice you to let them take you off of whatever plan you're on, supplement or plan, and try to put you on a Medicare Advantage plan because they come with all these extra little benefits, which are great for certain individuals. You know, everything is not cookie cutter. You want certain benefits and plans for certain individuals based on income, based on needs, based on where you live. There's so many factors. But when you get these random phone calls, I mean, who wants to do business with someone, first of all, who doesn't speak my language? Number two, how did you get my number?
Yeah.
And why do you keep calling me back? And you think I'm going to give you my credit card? I don't think so. So that should be just a very clear thing that if you get a phone call, just, block it.
The process, I think, a lot of people are concerned about is if I change anything, it's going to take a long time, and it's not going to be easy, and it's going to be complicated. That's really where you come in, because you make it simple for them to understand. You analyze what kind of health care they have now and their Plan Bs, and then you match what you can find out there to them. You're not trying to match them to a certain policy, and I think that is the difference, because you really can find something that covers their needs and not have to pay for stuff they don't need.
That's true, and you also want to know that you're working with a broker, which I am an independent broker, so I'm not reporting to some agency. I'm not reporting to some health insurance carrier. I don't owe them anything. I owe you everything because you're my customer. So what I'm going to do is look at all the options and what makes the most sense, not what carrier do you like. It really, honestly, when it comes down to the carrier you like, that doesn't count anymore.
No.
Things are quickly changing. The whole landscape is changing. And what I look at is I look at the carrier, but I want to look at how solvent are they. Because there are some that, especially in the Medicare industry, that will come into the Medicare industry because they want to try to make a big buck really quick and take over and try to start offering you different advantage plans, or maybe they want to do some supplements. And you want to be careful. You know, even though you may think you like them, they may not. For example, I'll give you an example. There's one with a company that Allstate is going out of doing Medicare supplements now, but and they used to offer them, and they weren't in there very long, and they were very affordable. They were the low supplements if you had to get your first quote. But then what happened is, because now they're pulling out of it, guess what they're going to do? Because they have a lower market base, because people are starting to realize they're not going to offer it again, their rates are going to go up. Their premiums are going to go up 20%. So those are things that I try to stay on the cutting edge of, and not just Medicare, but anything under 65 as well. I have some of the most progressive products available for individuals that are group plans, that are major medical.
Well, I think that's important to a lot of people. You'll have, like, I'm on Medicare, my wife is not, and so she still needs a plan. And there are a lot of people out there.
She's
like
just
that.
a baby.
Yeah. I'm reminded daily.
She's not hearing this. We're saying good things about you, Kathy.
Too late now.
You're just a baby.
But it really is. You are somebody they can call, and like I've done a number of times. I keep seeing this thing where you get this card and they give $1,200 to free food every month. You go, Earl,
throw it away.
How many times have I told you it's a scam? I keep hoping. But
I just want free money, Diane.
Well, you know, everybody think, how can I afford steak? Oh, a card for $500. But that's one. You're a consultant, and people can call you and say, hey, I heard this. What's your take on this? And if you don't know about it, you find out about it and call them back and let them know.
You know, the biggest joy I get is I'm talking to individuals who will contact me and tell me that they need some help with health insurance. And we start walking through, what do they need? What do I have to offer? How soon do they need it? What's their budget? So forth and so on. And then when we get to the end of it, they're like, well, okay, but so when I get down to I get this plan, then what do I do if I need to go see a doctor? What if I do if I want to see if a doctor is in my network? I said, you call me. And see, that's what people don't realize, is you don't have to call an 800 number. You have one to call.
And you speak English.
And I speak English, but most of the time. Depends on what time it is. But, yes, I'm here to do all the customer service. I'm here to do the digging and the research, and I do the fighting for my clients. I have some clients, I don't care how good your plan is, how good your network is. There are a lot of plans out there, and if you go into a doctor's office and they look at your card and they don't recognize the name of your plan, but they see a network they recognize, but they're like, well, we don't take this. I'm like, yes, they do. They take it. Let me talk to them. That's what I'm here to do. I buffer that. And it's not easy, but it's part of what I love doing, because then when I'm through, they're like, wow, you really are serious. You really mean that you're going to be here when I call you. And
a lot of people, their plan goes up, and they sit there and go, well, what can I do about that? They call you, and you say, there's a lot you can do. Let's look at what you got now, and we're going to analyze that and get back to you. And in most cases, you not only save them money, you get them out of things that they weren't ever going to use.
Yeah.
And so I think that is a thing that people think they're up against the big giant insurance companies. In a way, they are. But that's where you can come in.
Well, they are, because let's be honest, they don't want to pay for anything.
No.
And I know that. And I'm not an advocate for insurance companies, okay? I'm an advocate for your health and for your finances. And not having health insurance is taking the biggest risk you can take.
Yes.
That will take you down a pathway. If you find out that something's really critical happening to you and you have nothing, then that can destroy you and your family financially. So my goal is, whether it's the best or it's something that at least is going to give you some coverage, we're going to try to find something that will take away that gap where you don't experience that financial pitfall, hardship.
We got about 5 minutes left. Tell them about the process you go through in meeting with somebody, what kind of information you need, and how long it usually takes.
Well, it depends on how much we have in common. Because I do like to have conversations, because I really am about relationships.
And it is an ongoing relationship.
It truly is, because you're going to disclose to me some very personal information. And nobody wants to tell me their medical history, and yet they need to know they can trust me with that. So that's one thing I will have to know. If I'm going to find you a plan that's going to cover what you need when the situation happens or a situation occurs, I need to know that I have you on the right plan. So when something happens...
Because you can't hide this stuff.
You can't. And if you do hide it and then they go to file a claim and then the insurance company goes and pulls your records and see, oh, that was an pre-existing condition you never shared with us, we're not going to cover that because we didn't know about that. Those are the things that I want to find out. I want to find out where you live, because where you live also helps determine the rate. Your age will determine the rate. How many are on the policy. If you're doing a small group, if you're doing a large group, if you want to add dental and vision, I have some wonderful, affordable dental and vision plans. I give you options. You know, I don't just say do this, but unless it's really something I just know in my gut, this is what you need to do. Yeah. And I'm so confident in the plans that I have discovered and uncovered that I even have my daughter and her family on it. My son-in-law, my daughter, my grandchildren, they are all on this plan, and I love it. They love it. It meets their exact needs for that little family. For example, I'll tell you a benefit on that plan is that if one of my grandkids who tend to go to the ER, don't ask me why, they just end up in the ER, not because they're deathly ill, it's just an experience that for whatever reason they want to have, and it's always cost about $1,500. Well, the plan I have them on right now, not that I'm encouraging anybody to take their kids to the ER, let me qualify this statement, but it's only a $250 copay.
Wow.
And that's for 4 visits a year.
That's significant. I actually called you from the ER one time, but Kathy thought she was having kidney stones.
I know.
We get there, and
He's telling about you, Kathy.
And
that's a HIPAA thing, Earl.
Well, my wife, what's she going to do? She's already got all my money. So I called, and she started feeling better. And I called you, and I said, look, can we just walk out of here? Well, they haven't done anything yet. We're sitting here waiting. And she said, if they haven't done anything, tell them you want to sign sign this piece of paper.
AMA.
Yeah, and you just walk out of there. And don't give them your credit card.
And don't give them any billing information or insurance information, because the minute you do that, boy, they're going to start charging you. Yep. And if you don't need to be there, go.
And the sad thing about it is any kind of medical bills, even if you go broke and have to go bankrupt, those are exempt from bankruptcy. No matter what, you're going to have to pay medical bills.
Right. So the key is we just want to get to know each other. We want to find out what you need. When do you need it? What's your budget looking like? Can we fudge a little bit if we have to? And let's get you on the path to making sure you have coverage for yourself, your family, your business.
And maybe you have relatives in another state.
Exactly. Or maybe you have a small business, but you have it in Mississippi and in Arkansas and in Tennessee, and you want to offer your employees insurance, but you don't think you can afford it. I have individual group insurance. You don't have to do a small group plan. They can each have their own individual group plan. So there's lots of creative ways I can help.
How do they get in touch with Lady Di?
You're going to call me at 901-606-9091.
All right.
And say, hey, Lady Di.
Fix me up. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, great seeing you
again.
You
too, Earl. This is great. Congratulations.
Thank you. We love it here. So
all right.
We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
All right. She's also one of our sponsors. We thank her for that. And here are some of our other sponsors, and then we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dawn Graeter, President and CEO of Southern Security Federal Credit Union. We're the proud title sponsor of the Earl Farrell for Memphis show, coming to you live from Lansky's in the world-famous Peabody Hotel and celebrating all of the great things about our great city, Memphis, Tennessee.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm so proud to be part of the Earl Farrell for Memphis show, streaming live from Lansky's from the Peabody. We will be showcasing not only Napa Cafe, but some great restaurants around town. We look forward to seeing you.
Hi, everyone. It's Diane Kimbro, Lady Di, your insurance PI. And I'm here to tell you about the new podcast that Earl Farrell from Memphis is doing. And we're doing it downtown live from the Peabody, which is behind me, and next to the Rendezvous. And we're going to be talking all things Memphis, but we're also going to be talking about health insurance because that applies to everyone. And I can help you in every area. So I look forward to you listening to us and learning more about what we can do for you in Memphis and how I can help you with your health.
Hello, Memphis Mid-South. And first, I'd like to thank you for visiting with Earl Farrell Memphis today. And we want to support him just like you do. I'm George Gully, one of the sales managers at Jim Keras Chevrolet, We've been in business here in Memphis for over 75 years. I've been associated with the company for almost 25, and I'll help you find the right car, truck, or SUV here at not only our Chevy store, but also Buick, GMC, Nissan, Subaru. We can help you find that right car. Keep watching, Earl, and come see me. Thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Kathy Thurman Edwards, State Farm, and I'm so excited to be one of the sponsors for the Earl Farrell from Memphis show, broadcasting live from Lansky's at the Peabody. And I'll tell you all about what we've got going on at our office. Gift cards for quotes. No purchase necessary. I'm better looking than a lizard.
Hi, this is Randy Wright from the Dive Shop and Dive Ventures in Memphis. We've been in Memphis over 64 years teaching people to dive, snorkel, and swim. We'd love to have you come join us and have some fun. We're also a part of the Dive Ventures group with 18 locations across the country, stretched from Phoenix to Vienna, Virginia. Please give us a call. We'll be able to take care of you at 999 South Yates in Memphis, or call us at 901-763-DIVE.
Hi, I'm Brett Batterson, President and CEO of the Orpheum Theater Group in downtown Memphis. We are so pleased with our partnership with the Earl Farrell Show and very happy that he is broadcasting live from Lansky's at the historic Peabody Hotel. We're all here to make Memphis better.
Hi, my name is Jameson Todd, and I'm the director of Live at the Garden and the Radiance Amphitheater. And we're so excited for our 25th year of Live at the Garden here at the Memphis Botanic Garden. We've got a great lineup for you this season, so come on out.
Hi, I'm Olivia Wall, Director of Marketing and Communications for Memphis Botanic Garden and Live at the Garden. We've had Earl Farrell right along the way for the past 25 years, and we can't wait to talk more about the season this summer on the Earl Farrell for Memphis show.
So come out to Live at the Garden. Our first show is on June 21st.
Hi, my name is Scott Fueling. I'm president of Phoenix Communications here in Memphis. I'm really proud to support Earl Farrell's show, as is everybody else on the team. We love Memphis, and we love doing things to promote Memphis, and we can't wait for this to get started.
And we're back, and joining us now is a good friend and somebody everybody in Memphis knows. He and his family, Trey Jordan, and of course they ran and had one of the best restaurants in town for many years, Holiday Ham.
Well, thank you.
And people just loved it. Then the COVID thing hit for 2 years. And you guys had to pull back, but you took one of the best products you had, which was your dad's pimento cheese, and said, let's go with our winner. And you have reemerged, and you're in grocery stores all over the country now. And it's you're traveling a lot because you're reestablished. These people have never heard of Papa's Pimento before. And so you're out selling it, and you just hired a guy that we all know, nationally known.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for letting me be on the show. Back in the old days, we were selling 80,000 pounds of pimento cheese out of 3 little delis.
Wow.
And so we are excited to get Papa's out there all over the country. We need people from Memphis to tell their friends out of town about Papa's, especially in Texas. We're heavily in Texas and Louisiana, but we're in 9 states right now, but growing.
Wow.
But the greatest thing we did recently was we signed Willie Robertson of famed Duck Dynasty to be our celebrity endorser. And, timing is really great. He's just kicked off his new show. June 1st was the reemergence of Duck Dynasty Revival is what it's called. And so he's getting a lot of attention right now, and he loves my pimento cheese, too.
Tell us about what it was like meeting him and pitching your idea to have him become the spokesperson.
Well, first of all, it's fascinating. You know how relationships work. A fraternity brother of mine kind of connected me in some ways, and I went down there to talk to them. I was coming back from the Super Bowl, meeting a friend of mine down there who did some work for me. And I said, okay, I want to swing by Monroe, Louisiana. And I told them, I'm Duck Dynasty guys, I'm coming. And so they came in and met me. Willie was nowhere to be seen, right? And so I'm meeting with all these guys. They tried the product. They loved the product. And they said, we really think this is good. We think Willie really likes it too. And I said, well, would he like to meet me before he decides to do something with me? And they said, he'll never meet with you. He's too busy. He's doing this new show. No chance. And so I'm driving out of town. I'm an hour outside of town, and I get a phone call, and they go, uh-oh, reversal, come back. And, of course, I'm not going to keep coming to Memphis. I turn around and go back. Willie invites me to come by his house.
Wow.
They're filming Duck Dynasty Revival. They have probably 70 people, all the camera crews and everything going crazy. People look like ants out there. And you think it's really stressful, and Willie invites me into his house and treats me like you have today. Just like, Trey, how are you doing? Like he's met me. And we just sit in his den, and it's the nicest, kindest environment, and he's just a great person.
Because it really is, it's not just his image, it's his whole family's image and his history. And you have to be very careful of that. And I can only imagine how many people approach him about getting involved in different projects. So I think him meeting you, that was a huge thing, because he wants to make sure that he's dealing with people that are his kind of people.
Yeah, and the way we looked at it is he aligns exactly with who we are. You can't get any more Southern than Willie Robertson, right? And Duck Dynasty. And
or
faith,
pimento cheese.
That's right. That's right. So that's the reason it's a perfect match. Faith, family, and food, that's what he is. That's what we are. And we're just excited to be partnered with him because he's really getting us a lot of attention. You
know, you have two other things in common, or one other thing in common is the fact that you went through tough times with the COVID thing. They had Duck Dynasty, tried some other stuff, and then just lost his dad here recently. And so, but they realized that there's a need to reinvent yourselves. And I think that's what I'm so admire about you, is you didn't just go, okay, I'm going to go sit on my front porch. You said, you know what, we're not gone yet. We're just going to change what we do. And you've met with incredible success already, just because we talked before. Everybody you present this and say, take a bite, they take a bite and go, I think most people don't expect to be surprised anymore, but they all are.
Well, and we are consistently trying to reinvent ourselves. We're adding all kinds of new products. We're doing a lot of R&D, research and development. I've got a great team doing that for us. And in meeting Willie, one of the things I brought to you today that you'll have to try at some point in time. You don't have to try it right now.
Well, we got some testers here. We'll get them to try it.
So one is a Cajun-style pimento cheese. You got to have that if you got Willie around, right?
Absolutely.
And so we've got a Cajun-style pimento cheese that's incredible. Kroger here in Memphis just picked up the Smokehouse pimento cheese. We also are getting distribution in Texas for that. People are loving the Smokehouse. It's a little different than our original two recipes, which has got a little cream cheese base to it. And, of course, the Smokehouse has a lot of smoked cheeses to it. It's incredible.
Well, everybody in Texas loves smoked brisket, so you knew they were suckers for anything smoked. So that's brilliant. You're also in Public down in Florida?
We are not yet. We're working hard at them. Man, say that a little louder. Maybe they'll hear you.
Public.
So we're making pitches to a lot of different people. I've got a lot of proposals out right now. This is, as they say, this is the time that they're making the decisions between now and really the fall. And so hopefully if I can meet you in another month, I'll be able to tell you that we're in distribution in a lot of other states.
Well, we'll definitely stay posted. How important is it that you are representing your family and your history, because you have a great history? You're the one out there as the point man that called all these people.
I think it is important because I can tell the story. I don't have to think about the stories. I don't have to memorize a sales sheet. I've been doing this for over 35 years now. I know where the pimento cheese got started. I know the everything about it. I tell stories constantly about the product. My 95-year-old dad is still alive, and people say, well, who is Papa? I said, that's my dad. And so the picture on the front, and I can say, that's my dad. Are you kidding me?
I'm going to hold this up for this camera right here, and we get my big old fingers out of the way.
People recognize that it's means something to me.
Yeah.
And I usually tell them that Dad's back home at 95 making the pimento cheese, so I couldn't let him come on the trip.
Got a big gray 55-gallon dumpster that just stirred it up.
I said, come on, Dad, we need more.
Step it up, Dad. But your family, it all came from recipes from your family. And everything in the stores when it was holiday ham, you had the pictures of the family on the wall. It was about family, and I think that's why people loved it so much. And calling it Papa's, I mean, that's what my grandson calls me, and so it's a very personal thing with people. And I think the fact that it comes from a family and not a conglomerate makes a difference.
Yeah, and you know what's really interesting? I really miss being in the restaurants because you don't get to see the people that I used to see. But a lot of people really are finding out slowly that Papa's is the old Holiday Deli and Ham Company pimento cheese. And so when I put my dad's picture on it, people went,
connected.
Oh, and so we've just done a revamp of the container. The container didn't have his picture on it originally, so hopefully people will know now.
Did you consult with like consultants before you launched this to see if you were on the right track, what you really needed to do? And did some of them say, nah, you'll never be able to compete with the big boys? Did anybody try to discourage you, or did they all get it right away?
You know, I think there's always going to be a naysayer. Always. Hey, this is hard. This is a long, road. This is you're a 59-year-old rookie. What are you doing? So, you can't listen to that. You just got to go for broke and hope people enjoy the product, put a smile on people's face. I tell people that this is the gourmet gathering foods. If you eat Papa's pimento cheese and bring it to a party, you're going to have more friends.
But the pimento cheese will not last long.
It will not last long.
Always buy extra because it will go in a hurry.
That's right.
And the Willie, I know he's launching his new show. When you said how you're going to present this, have you already scripted some spots and what you want him to say?
Yeah, so Willie's an avid golfer, and so we were able to do a golf video, and it's a great video that I think it's been out there that talks about, my golf game, not so good. But my snack game, always on point. And so we did that one, and we're doing one with grilling, the grilling season. He puts pimento cheese on a burger. I think you'll probably see a hunting one, clearly. You'll probably see a tailgating one. I'll be going back down there probably in the fall, and we'll have a few more videos coming out.
Well, we can't wait to start seeing them, and you can buy it here now. Locally, it's a Kroger. Where else can you get it here?
We're in all the Krogers here in the area. We're trying to get in some of the smaller, with the smaller grocery stores. We would love to be in local grocery stores, and we're in Mississippi, Arkansas, and Louisiana, Texas, Alabama. So there is a place on the website that you can find out exactly where we are.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward. We're going to try all your cheeses here after the show because I can't talk and eat crackers at the same time, much less pimento cheese. But Trey Jordan, thank you for coming in, and good luck. I think you're going to do fabulously, and I think Willie's going to be a great addition. And it really says a lot about who you are and what you're trying to do. So I think it's a great combination.
Much. It's great to be here.
And you look great in that jacket.
No. Thanks a ton.
All right, Trey Jordan with Papa's Pimento. I've got the jalapeno right here, but they've got how many different brands?
We have 4 different flavors right now.
And the smoked.
Smokehouse, Fiesta, jalapeno, and original. Cajun might be coming. This is a test phase, and we got a lot of other ones. I've got over 12 pimento cheeses, by the way.
Wow.
So I'll bring them to you sometime.
I used to do this before. Up north, they don't know what pimento cheese is, do they?
No, there's a guy from Australia that walked in the store, and I said, hey, what are you doing? I said, have you ever tried pimento cheese? He goes, what's that? So a lot of people don't know what pimento cheese is.
Well, it's like a Vegemite sandwich. We've heard about it, but we ain't never had any.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you what, this cheese tastes a lot better, much better than Vegemite. I've had it. All right, Trey Jordan, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, if you've been keeping up with the news lately, you know that there's the president and the current administration has instituted a big surcharge on steel coming from outside this country. And also, it appears they have some kind of handshake deal with China on tariffs with China, which, then if they go, then the rest of them will go as well. That's why I got George Gully to come in today, because he was going to come in and talk about how the steel will impact the price of grab me some pimento cheese there, George. So the steel tariffs, they're 50% tariff on steel produced outside this country.
That's what.
And just today, I heard that Chevrolet is stopping one plant that was being they were manufacturing in Mexico and bringing it back to the United States. That's huge.
Yeah, the investment's in the range of $4 billion. It won't stop production. They're moving production from Mexico to Indiana.
But what you're seeing now is U.S. companies adjusting to all the things that are going on. The reason they moved them to foreign countries is they could get it so much cheaper there.
Well, that's true.
And then what they finally figured out was that it may be cheaper there, but people were losing their jobs in this country, and then we were, the trade deficit was totally out of whack.
Well, it has become that, and so I don't disagree with what Trump's trying to do as far as keeping jobs in the U.S. I mean, none of us would fight against that. It's going to take time, though. This is not something you can snap your finger. You can't build a plan in 6 weeks.
They didn't all move out of the country in 6 weeks.
No, it took a great deal of time and effort. We adjusted as far as the projection of earnings on GM side in the range of $4 to $5 billion over the next year. But at the same time, if they can move the jobs, if they can zigzag through this thing, it'll be better for all.
George Gully, who is also with Jim Keras Chevrolet,
Thank
Nissan, Subaru.
Sure.
And right now, the cars you have on your lots, they're priced right. There's no, they didn't do any
no tariffs on anything.
Anything right now.
We're going to see, I brought my cheat sheet. We're going to see, in some instances, less than 1% increase in vehicles over the next 3 to 4 months.
So that's nothing really. I mean, when you talk about 1%.
Yeah, in most cases, you're looking at $300-400.
Yeah. And are people buying right now?
Yeah. We're seeing an uptick in total volume. Used cars are going pretty darn good right now. A lot of that has to do with the interest rates softening a little bit. And, of course, we look for that to even get better as the year goes on.
Well, I know that also, is there any talk, because I know that in so many countries, the tariffs were so high to import Chevrolet into France was ridiculous.
We were at a huge disadvantage moving outside the country. Whether you knew this or not, Buick was the #1 selling vehicle in China.
No.
Up until this year.
And so what was that about? Did they not have as high a tariff on them?
No, but it goes back to the 30s and 40s, and the Emperor of China had a Buick and paraded it all over the country, and they didn't forget him.
Yeah.
And so, it's an unusual thing, but that happens.
The people I know, in fact, we were talking about it with my sister today. She was saying, because they have a Tahoe, and they were saying, they have these other Tahoes that are 6 cylinders or 4 cylinders or something. Mm-hmm. I said, well, I don't know how well they sell, because most people, to get a big car, you want to have the power to go with it.
Yeah, we've got 2 engines available in the Tahoe, and to me, the 5.3 is the #1 selling vehicle, but the 6.2 can give that oomph.
Yeah.
That weekend we allowed you to drive one, you had the oomph.
I was totally amazed with that car. And I didn't even use the self-driving part where you just head to Dallas and unless you need to get off to get
Super
gas.
Cruise is the term.
And it does everything. If you get too close to somebody, I noticed it had a little image on the windshield, and I kept seeing this bar get shorter and shorter, and I said, that's how close you are to and when you get to a certain point, it'll break itself.
Sure.
Yeah, well, amazing.
It will pass and then adjust back you into the lane. And I'm not as accustomed to it as others have become. So, we'll see as time goes by.
It's where it's all going. We know where it's going.
Well, the world is going to technology all the way through. AI is going to take it over. You know it.
As Rob and Beth, who work with me on the show, say, technology's great when it works.
Yes, we know that.
And you said the used car business is really good right now?
I've seen an uptick, and it gets down to money. I mean, we as Americans love cars. We love to trade cars. Unbeknownst to your listeners, I'm going to be leaving this show and going to deliver 2 cars late in the afternoon, who are people that are working that need to take delivery.
But you do that all the time.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll accommodate to anyone. I mean, it's business.
I've been at your office before when somebody calls you up and says, I need a car before the end of the week. And you just go, what do you want?
Well, we try to accommodate. You're right. And I've been fortunate to be with the Keras family, who are great business people and philanthropically involved in many, many charities in this town for over 25 years.
I also want to talk about some of the personal things you do, one of which is the Memphis Grizzlies Foundation. We talked about it the last time you were on, but I think it's worth talking more about because it is a thing that the Grizzlies have been behind ever since they got here. and they help a lot of kids out there that really don't have good leadership examples, and this is what you're trying to bring to the community.
They approached me, as I said last show, as I was leaving a game, and through interviews and discussion, it was obvious they're trying to reach out to the community. They're trying to salvage people's lives. It astonished me that they put forth the effort that they're doing, which monetarily, they've got 8-9 people employed just for this.
For the foundation.
Correct. And they're in 6 schools. And to the extent of, if I'm not mistaken, 125 to 130 volunteers are involved. Wow. And they accommodate probably 400 or 500 kids.
Which is a huge impact, because it's not just those kids they're affecting their brothers and sisters, because they're going home and telling the stories about what they're doing. They're talking about the hope that you have to give people hope.
Well,
and
sure
so many inner city kids don't feel like they have it, and that's constantly reinforced by peers.
Earl, it offers them structure that they might not see otherwise. And it as you said, it sells the hope. We are well-versed as to the curriculum. We don't help them with the reading and writing and arithmetic type thing. We're talking about job skills. We're talking to them about encouraging their getting through school, going to trade school, going to college, having a better way of life. And they might not get that message otherwise.
And very simple things some people may not think about when you meet somebody, look them in the eye, shake their hand firmly.
Oh, sure.
I'm
the warden in my group. I have to remind them, no, we don't talk in the middle of someone else, just like I interrupted you, and I shouldn't have done that, by the way.
But you knew what you did, so it was...
Okay.
But I think that's the little things that so many kids aren't exposed to growing up that you could bring to them. And it really changes their life, because first impressions, there's only one time that you meet somebody for the first time.
You're very, very correct on that. Elliot Perry, who is our chairman, has done a wonderful job, and I did speak with them today at your urging, and we're going to get them on here next visit. They're willing to come and want to come.
But that's the thing. One reason we're doing the show the way we're doing it now is having people come on and talk about how they're involved in the community, aside from what their job is. And you're very much involved in other things as well. But it is part of, and you've said it to me before, is giving back. If you're successful, you should give back in a variety of ways.
Oh, sure. And your previous guest, Trey, I've known him since high school. He was in my little brother's class. We talked old times a few minutes ago, and he's done great things for this city and been successful. I've been fortunate. There's a lot of people, and you interview them, 2-3 times a week, that are out there trying to do their part to get this thing turned back the right way.
Well, it does take everybody. Just like you think we're overwhelmed by all these other events happening around us, the way you turn that around is start focusing and telling people about the good stuff.
Oh, sure.
And that's what we're trying to do here.
Absolutely.
You're right now. We're in 25. The 26s. Because I remember when I was a kid, they always came out like September.
Here's the secret, Earl. The 4th of July it's not an excuse, but it's a time which most of your manufacturers start retooling for the newest models.
Okay.
We want the new technology. We want the bigger screens in our vehicles. Maybe the newest wow, and we start seeing it in July all the way through September. And so then we, the sellers, we got to get rid of the old stuff. Doesn't mean it's tainted.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring out all the wows.
Just like here at Lansky's, they move the old stuff out and bring in the new stuff.
They got me a deal. I made one last time I was here.
Well, look at the jacket.
Yeah, I'm wearing it today.
Yeah, and in fact, everybody that comes on here, they're selling a lot of jackets.
I hope they are. We want them to be successful.
How do they get a hold of you if they want to talk to you either about the Grizzly Foundation or come buy a car?
Absolutely. You can reach me. I'll give out my cell, 901-491-8343, and they can reach me at Jim Keras Chevrolet, 387-2000. Just ask for George. I'll talk to them about the Grizzlies or cars.
All right.
Or both.
Or both. George Gully, a good friend, a good person in Memphis in a variety of ways. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Earl.
You bet. That is our show for today, and thank all of my guests for being here and the crew for getting all set up and making this happen every day. It ain't easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. But we'll see you next time. Have a great night.